Okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the session. So, in the last class, which topic we have seen, guys? Pipelines, correct or not? So, in today's session, we are going to start the concept of master and slave. Which one? Master and slave. So, but before going to that, how many of you practice pipelines in last session, from the last class? So, I got the clarity of pipelines now. Okay, fine. So, in today's session, we are gonna see the concept of master and slave, which is gonna be again very important concept. So I'll ask you one question. Basically, when the load inside the Jenkins got increased, what will happen, sir? Jenkins will already we know this concept. So definitely, if the load inside the Jenkins is going to be increased, our server will be crashed. So to avoid that one, what we do? We do the total build. What total build will do? It is going to restrict the number of builds per hour. So instead of making it concurrently as well as frequently, this total build is going to make some time gap for each build. For example, let's consider a scenario where I'm going to show you like this. So see the scenario, like how it is going to work for you. It is my Jenkins server. What I am doing here, I'm going to make a build. So it is my Jenkins. I'm going to name it as. Okay. So I want to make a build, that is build number 1. Similarly, I want to make a build called build number 2, or like I want to make one more build called build number 3. Sir, when we do concurrent build like this, what will happen? Jenkins will get the load. So definitely this build 1, build 2, and build 3 is going to run on the same Jenkins server. You have the load. So in this case, what happened, you can tell me, sir, we can do the builds one by one. Instead of going for concurrent, we can go for sequential build. Of course, your point is correct. But what happened is I want these 3 builds immediately. How I want these 3 builds? Very immediately. So build 1 I want now, build 2 I want now, build 3 also immediately I want. So in that case, what I'll do, I am not gonna wait for build 1 to complete for build 2 execution and build 2 to complete for build 3 execution. What I do is build number 1, I'll give it for Jenkins only. But this build number 2 is waiting, right? This build number 2, I'll go and execute on server number 2, and build number 3, I'll go and execute on server number 3. This is how the concept of master and slave will work. So I'm going to write it as build 1 is, sorry, build 2 is going to execute here. And build 3 is going to execute here. In the main server of Jenkins, what will execute? Build 1. Now, if you go and see, here you can see all the builds are running at a same time or different time, same time. But on single server or multiple servers? Multiple servers. Okay. One is on Jenkins main server, one is on worker 1, and another one is on worker node 2. So this worker you can call as slave. What do we call as? Slave server. Slave server 1 and slave server 2. Okay. So the main purpose of the Jenkins master and slave concept is to distribute the build. So if you want me to make it more understanding and more realistic way, let's go to our childhood. For example, in our childhood, let's consider our mom is working. We as well as our sibling is there. When she is working, she want to do the work immediately. What she will do? She will ask us to help. Correct or not, sir? For example, she want to prepare the biryani. Huh? Now she is trying to cook the food. Now she wants some chicken to prepare biryani. She can't go to the shop and she can't buy the chicken. Why? Because it's emergency. Now what we'll do? So she's going to tell to me to go to chicken shop and bring the chicken. Requirement got satisfied. Similarly, she wants some spices to add to the biryani. Again, she will tell to my brother and he's going to go to the market and he is going to bring some spices. So if you go and see, there is a lot of work, but when we distribute the work, is the work going to do immediately or not, sir? Here my mother is not having that much of stress. Why? Because here I will be there and my brother will be there. Here we are distributing the work. Here also Jenkins server is having lot of works to do. But whenever if I ask Jenkins to do all of the works, it cannot do. Why? Because it will be crashed. In that case, I am asking the slave servers to do the build number 2 and build number 3 to avoid the load in the Jenkins. Whenever I distribute the work like this, is Jenkins going to get the load? Is it going to get the load or not? No. As well as we are going to save a lot of time or not, sir? So this can be achieved by the concept called master and slave. Which concept? So in real time, if somebody asks you, how do you reduce the load of Jenkins server, means we can implement the concept called master and slave concept. Which concept, guys? Slave. What is the main purpose of master and slave? The main purpose is to distribute the bills. Why we distribute the bills? To reduce the load in the Jenkins server. If I do all the bills in the same server, it will be crashed. For that purpose, I'll distribute them. And here, communication between master and slave is SH. Already said, if one server want to communicate with other server, so definitely here the communication between the servers is gonna establish from the SSH. Which one? If you don't have SSH, so then definitely you cannot able to make communication between the two servers. So I'm gonna give SSH. This is the point of communication for all the Jenkins master and slave. And here in the slave, we need to install a agent. What do we need to install? That means here agent stand for Java 11. Which one? That means in your worker node, if you install Java 11, then only it can be able to communicate with slave. Otherwise, it cannot communicate. For example, again come to the same concept. Your mother told a work for you. Now you want to do the work. When will you do the work? When she give 1 rupee coin. She don't give me the 1 rupee coin. Like why will I go to supermarket, sir? I need some money to the work. Here also, if this slave want to do the work, we need to install Java 11. If I don't install Java 11 in the slave means server only here. Don't think slave is some other thing different. Slave means server only. Here in the slave server, if I install Java 11, then only it will work. Otherwise, it's not going to work. This is called as agent. Agent is what here? Java 11. So slave can be used any platform. That means your slave server can be Windows, it can be Linux, it can be Mac OS, but we prefer Linux only. And here we have something called as label. What is the meaning of label? Way of assigning the work for the. For example, if mom want to assign work for me, she want the chicken. What she will do? She will call me and ask, Raham, go and bring the chicken. Then what I do? I'll go and bring the chicken. But if not like that, me and my brother are standing. She is asking, go and bring the chicken. Now who want to go? How she mention the name? If she mention the name, then we'll get the clarity. Who to do the work. Here also in slave, we have something called as label. What do we call as? This label indicate the special name for the slave. Label indicate what? If we give the label, then only we can able to make the build on this server. For example, okay. For example, slave 1 will have one label and slave 2 will have some other label. If I call label of slave 1, then slave 1 will only work. If I call label of slave 2, slave 2 only works. Simply, label is nothing but way of assigning the work. Again, I'm explaining here. Jenkins master and slave concept is to distribute the build to the Jenkins. Why to distribute? To reduce the load. How master will be communicating with slave? By using SH. In slaves, we need to install Java 11. What is the Java 11 means? It's a agent. What it is? And slave can be any platform. And if I want to assign a particular work to particular server, I need to use label. I have two servers, two slave servers. How many? So definitely, if I want to assign work for only one server, I need to give the label of that server. Otherwise, the work will not be allocated. So this is the concept of master and slave. So from the theoretical perspective, is the master and slave clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm me? Is the master and slave concept clear for all of you or not? From theoretical point. If it is clear, then we can go for the practical implementation. Okay, so it's clear. Sir, I think you are a biryani lover, right? Yeah, once upon a time, but not now. Because currently I'm under the calorie deficit, so diet is going on. So I kept biryani away from me. You know mandi, right? How many of you love mandi here? Everybody loves it. Okay, tell me one thing. How many of you have the capability to eat full mandi? Huh? Medium, huh? You don't believe I can finish large mandi single alone. No, but not now, once upon a time. So I almost all waited up to 100 kgs exactly 8 months ago. So that is the reason I stopped everything. But still, biryani is my favorite thing. Eh? Can't avoid it. Yep, fine. So now go for the setup here. Sir, already as per the diagram, here I have the Jenkins server. So let me connect. So basically, whenever if we stop and start the server, what will happen? Public IP address will change as well as service will be inactive. When service will be inactive, what will happen? We need to start it. But here am I starting this one? No, why I'm not starting? Because I have given the command called chkconfig. Which command? Chkconfig will make the service automatically activate whenever if we stop and start the server. Okay. So I already mentioned this on the notes. So make a point of it. In real time, how many slaves can we create? Basically, one is enough. Or if you want, you can go for two also, Ramu. Hope it's clear. So see, you can see that Jenkins is loading now. So in the meanwhile, I'll try to create two slave servers. How many slave servers? So number of instances, two. So I'm taking Amazon Linux, two. Key pair, take one key pair. I'm going to take APR 6 PM. Security group, just go for all traffic. Review. So now your two servers got created and I'm signing to the Jenkins. What is the username? Password also I put it. I kept it Raham only. Is the internet slow or like is my browser slow? Last day also we experienced the same issue. Are you getting the same issue in the practice? Jenkins. Not in the lab, on your home place. Like sometimes it will happen with the Jenkins itself also. So the entire dashboard will work very slow. Okay. So I'm gonna delete all the jobs. So guys, I don't want any job as of now. I'm removing all of them. But let me call the technical person. Why? Because this day also it is making it very, very slow for loading. Let's check with the LAN. It's not from RAM point of view, Sudarshan. Of course, we can increase, but it's not from RAM point. Give me a couple of minutes, guys. So in the meanwhile, what you can do is let's connect to the slave one and slave two. So guys, remember in the slave, we need to install agent. What is agent here? Java 11. So without agent, is our master and slave going to work for you? It will not work. Okay, make sure this point. So here I am going for sudo -i, go and give the command Amazon Linux extras. What you going to install? Java 11, sorry, Java OpenJDK 11 -y. See, if you don't know the command here, already given the command for you, so you can use the command. Is Java 11 working for you now? So this is the first step. If you don't give this one now, so it is not going to happen for you. So definitely we need to install Java 11 in the slave server. After installing, check the Java version. What is the command to check the Java version? Command to check the Java version. You are trying to tell changing. It is Java hyphen version. Very straight command. What is the version here? Okay. So here you can see the 11 version. Which one? 11 version. Now the step number one is done. So step number one is create a server, install the Java 11. I showed you. In step number one, we need to configure the slave server. Guys, here I have precisely given you step-by-step point of how to connect the slave server. So in the practical part also, if you get any query, you can refer these points. Okay, what exactly I'm going to perform here, you can see on the step-by-step point of view. Go to the dashboard. Of course, you can remove them, but I'm keeping it as of now. I'll remove it later. Okay, so now click on dashboard and click on manage Jenkins. So in the manage Jenkins, there is a point you can see nodes and loads. Guys, I think the issue is from the server point of view. Let me do one thing. Let me create a new Jenkins server. Why? Because even after changing the Wi-Fi also, it seems very slow. Let me do one thing. I'll create the new Jenkins for you with T2 medium this time. But T2 macro will work fine, but unfortunately it is not working as per the expectations here. Even the console is also loading slowly. That's what I'm concerned. After changing the internet also, it's having a lot of problem. Let me set up the new Jenkins dashboard. Daily we are having at least one of the issue. Sometimes internet, sometimes the dashboard. Notes. Again, it's got T2 micro. Now I selected T2 medium, but it got T2 micro. But we want T2 medium. I'm going for T2 medium. Let me check. Is it from internet point of view or like is it from instance type? Basically, till now, all the days I use this T2 medium only. It is perfectly fine for so T2 micro only, it's perfectly fine. But for the first time I'm seeing it was like very, very working slowly. Let me verify. Let me install Jenkins, guys. It'll take only a couple of minutes. Just let me install. But remember here I'm using T2 medium, okay? But you don't use it. Why? Because you'll get the bill. You can ask me, sir, you are also going to get the bill, na? Yes, even I'm also going to get the bill, but it's not my account. Huh? It's my student account. So no need to worry about it. Medium. Okay. How much time you use it for? Whole night was running, huh? Then you can get at least $5 of bill as per my expectation. $5 means you can convert into Indian rupees. 400. But again, don't worry, guys. Like, even if you don't pay the billing of AWS console, it's completely fine. Even, I'll tell you one thing, it is hard to believe. A lot of times I get the bill, but I never paid it. But still, my accounts are running, okay? So it won't happen and it won't run for all the times. Right. Basically, GCP is the cheapest cloud among all. When we compare with AWS and Azure, GCP will be very cheap. It is a new thing I'm gonna launch 8080. So my Jenkins is running. Copy the token here and paste it here. I think it's not from the server point of view. The Jenkins itself is loading very slowly. Sometimes due to global outage, it will load like this. But for the last class, I use the same server. What is the server I'm showing? I use the same server. It was working fine for your previous class. But for only your class at this particular time, it's blocked. That's where I'm wondering. Morning also, Suna. We will get now. Like if it is working fine, issue is with the instance type. If it is not working fine, issue is something for the Jenkins global outage. Error occurred. It's not like that. So generally Jenkins will be running like all the time, but from the last 2 days only it is getting issue only on this particular time. I'm not sure why. Even like T2 medium and T2 macro, I have took both. Let me quickly lock it up. The place you are standing is Vastu problem, sir. But unfortunately, I'm sitting here. Hmm? Okay, so let me go ahead now. So I think it's working now. It's with the instance type issue. Okay. So let me go for manage Jenkins. So already you have the slave server. Okay. So I'm clicking on manage Jenkins, clicking on nodes itself. So you have one default server. It is my default Jenkins server only. Click on new node. So node name is gonna be, I'm gonna give it as slave number one. What I'm gonna give it as? Again, one more time. Go to the dashboard, click on manage Jenkins. Okay. So click on nodes. Next here in the nodes, again it got a bit slow. Click on new node. So node, I'm gonna give it as slave number one. So click on permanent agent. Okay. So this is the way how you can go to the slave configuration. See, here you need to understand some important input parameters. I'm gonna make it easy for you. If you go and see here, first of all, you can see number of executors. What does the meaning of number of executors? Already you know. Executor means number of builds you can do. Jenkins server by default do how many number of builds? Two. Sequential or parallel? Sequential only. But if you want, we can go for parallel. So number of build executors means number of builds it can do at a time. I'm going for 2 builds is enough. Why? Because 2 will be the maximum limit in real-time aspect. Coming to the next one, remote root directory means, sir, if you make a build on Jenkins, where is the output going to store? Workspace. What is the default workspace? Varlib Jenkins workspace. But remember, in slave servers, you don't have varlib Jenkins. Why? Because in slave, have you installed Jenkins? No. So varlib Jenkins will come with the Jenkins installation only. But here in the slave server, we don't have any Jenkins installed here. So I need to go and give one remote root directory. This will indicate where your output is going to store. That means if I build on my slave one, the output is going to store on TMP folder. Which folder? Let me show you quickly. It is my slave server. Okay. This one. If I make a build, so this build is gonna store on folder called TMP. Which folder? Oh, again, it's working slowly. Oh, man. So next here, what you are seeing here? Label. Label means already said for slave, you need to give the name. Okay, unique name. So based upon this unique name called label, our job is going to print. I'm gonna give the label called one. What I'm gonna give here? One. So again, number of executors means number of builds you can do. Two, remote root directory. Our output is going to store on TMP folder. Label. It's a way of assigning the work. We need to give one unique name. After that, usage. You have two options. What is option number one? Use this node as much as possible. Second one is only build the jobs with label expression matching this one. That means whenever if I give the label called one, then only build on this slave number one. I have two slaves, right? It is slave one and if I give label one, then only build on slave one. Otherwise, don't build here. I don't want it. Okay, like that. So select the second option. Launch method. Sir, how the master is going to communicate with slave, sir? SSH. So go and give here SSH. So here I'm going to the console and I'm going to give it as SSH. So here we need to give the IP address of my slave server. So go to the console and take the private IP address of my slave server one. So here we have two Jenkins now. Let me remove this Jenkins. I don't want this. T2 micro Jenkins I'm removing and I'm going for running. So Here you will be having slave one. Copy this one, take the private IP address. What you need to take here? Private IP. And this private IP you are going to paste on the host part. After pasting the private IP, the next thing you want to do is add the credentials. What you need to add? Sir, for this server, if I want to communicate to the slave server, see, my Jenkins server want to communicate with slave one. So definitely this server need this slave one IP address, username and password. Without username and password, can we able to communicate to any server? No. Now in the credentials, I need to tell the username and password of my slave server. So go and click on add, select Jenkins. Coming to the kind, here you have username and password, but we need to select username with private key. Why? Because for the slave servers, you have private key or not, sir? Go here and give the username. What is the default username of server? Is it a user? Coming to the private key, sir, already your slave one is having the key called APR6PM. Which key it is? Let me show it. If you scroll this one here, or is in the key name called APR6PM. So this will indicate here your server is able to log in with this key pair. Already we have this key pair on our local. If you go to your local folder called key pairs, here we have the APR6PM. Now what is your work? Copy the key pair and go to the Jenkins server. Just paste it here. Click on private key, enter directly. Click on add. And you don't worry about the process. Here if you can go and see. In the process, everything we mentioned very clearly. How to add credentials, click on add, go for Jenkins kind. What you need to select? SH username with. What is the username? And what is the private key means? PEM file of your server. Okay. Just copy it and paste it. Let me show you one more time. I'm going to cancel this one. So click for coming to the credentials. By default, you don't have anything. Click on add, go for Jenkins. In the kind, what I need to select in the kind here, just go and check. SH username with private key. Why? Because my server have username with private key. So I need to give these details only. Username will be, and description you can use. I'm using for my slave one. So just use slave one. That means I'm using it for slave one. It's optional. Coming to private key, enter directly. So already for your server, you have the private key. So it is my private key. Copy this and just paste it on the terminal. Now if you click on the drop down, so first of all, let me save till here. Why? Because I don't know what's happening with this Jenkins server these days. Every time it's going for off and again it's going on. Port number 8080. So again, click on manage Jenkins. Click on nodes. Everything we need to do from scratch again. Click on new node. Okay. So what is the node name here? Slave one. So after that, number of executors, how many I can give? 2 or 3. So remote directory means where you store the output. TMP. Labels, I am giving the 1. Why? Because based upon this label only, my slave will execute. So usage, only label matching with this node. That means I'll tell one shortcut. Wherever you are seeing drop down, select second option. Drop down, second option. Here also drop down, second. That means whenever if you're seeing drop down, go for last option directly. Okay. Host means what we need to give here? Private IP address of your. Of course, you can give public also, but I am giving private. So next, credentials. Please reload this page. Guys, let me change the browser. Is it a browser issue or what? Like, let me go for some new browser and try to do it. Yeah. So instead of doing that one, so better to go with the new browser, fresh one. Got it. Port number what? 8080. Was trying to remove the cache. Wait. Sorry. Was the account blocked or what? So let me click on new item. Sorry, not here. Go for manage Jenkins. Again, this is a third time actually. Basically, I'll repeat every concept for 3 times, but unfortunately, due to internet issue, it's automatically repeating. Okay. And here, like, guys, it's not from the server point of view. The issue is from the Jenkins itself. Why? Because even after changing the browser and removing the cache and after increasing the RAM and CPU also, Jenkins is loading very slowly. Have you seen this one? Usually this won't happen. The reason why it is happening means sometimes due to heavy usage or due to maintenance issue, this will occur. So issue is not from our end. Issue is from the Jenkins end only. Okay. Don't worry about this. Slave one, permanent agent. Number of executors, 2. Remote directory means you are going to store output on TMP folder. Labels, I'm going to give it as 1. Okay. So usage, drop down means last option. It also drop down last option. Host means you need to give the IP address of your slave. Which IP address? Private. Okay. You can give public also, but in real time, you work with private only. So credentials, you need to click on add Jenkins credential. So in kind, we need to select username with private key. Description, I'm using it for my slave one. Username, what is the username here? EC2 user. Coming to the private key, already, we have the private key on our local. It is my private key. This private key attached for my slave server. So give the private key. Once if you done this one, click on add. So now if you go and drop down, are you seeing slave one credentials added here? And again, are you seeing the verifying strategy here? Drop down. Drop down means last option, non-verifying strategy. That's it. So availability, don't make the change. So click on save. Now automatically you can go here and your slave one is launching or not, sir. So this is the way how exactly you can launch your slave server. Is slave server launched here? Now what I'll do, I'll click on here and I'm gonna delete the agent. Why? Because I just wanna show you one more time entire process, which will make your work very, very easy. Again, let's go and do the slave one configuration one more time. Now this time you tell me, click on manage Jenkins, nodes, new node name will be permanent agent. Number of build executors, remote root directory, TMP. Next, label, 1. Guys, you can give whatever you want. Next, usage, drop down means last option. Drop down again. Host means what we need to give here. Private IP address of slave. So guys, already credential added here. So I can use the same thing. No need to add one more time. Next, verifying strategy, drop down. Last, click on save. So you can see your node is running now. And again, the same points here I have mentioned on the class nodes also. How to make it. So your slave one is launching or not, sir? So it is now ready. You can see it is online. Now what I'll do, I'll go and create the continuous integration job. How to create integration job? Just put the CI job. I mean, like name, you can put whatever you want. You need to take the code from GitHub DevOps by Raham. And the project name is github.com DevOps by Raham. So a Jenkins Java project. Copy the code and give it to the Git here. Next, I need to run here goal. Where can I run? I can go for execute shell or I can go for Maven targets also. Here in the Maven target, I'm going to give clean package. Now tell me one thing. Basically, here what I'll do, I'll click on build now. The moment if I click on build now, what will happen? The job is going to execute on which server? No. Master only. Which server? I configured it on master only. If I click on build now, automatically it is going to build on master. But if I want to click on slave one, I need to call the label. What is the label I have given? So if I give label only, then only it will go and execute on the slave one. But have I given label here? No, that means it is going to execute on master, your Jenkins main server only. But again, what happened to this man? So if you go and see, 2 times I clicked on build now. Now these two builds, first build and second build, where it performed, guys? Can go to the console output and you can see it is built on built-in node. Where it is going to build on? Built-in node means what? Jenkins server only, main server. But what is my requirement is I want to make this build on the slave server. That means I want to give the label. What I want to give? How does you like give the label? Means click on configure. Here you can see an option called restrict where this project run. If you don't configure slave, you can't see this option. Remember, this option will be visible when you configure the, what is the label of slave one? You can see the label, click on save. Now the moment if I click on build now, automatically this build is going to work on slave one. Why? Because label of slave one is gonna be, will be one only. What is the label here? One. So I have given the label name called one. So automatically Jenkins will execute the build on slave one. But if you go and see, the output will be failed here. What is the output? Failed. I think the output got failed. You can wonder why the output got failed. Means the question is very easy. You want to find the error. I'll tell one trick for you. Don't go for line by line. Where is the error? Where is it? Don't go for line by line. Okay. It will take a lot of time. Just to put Control F. Control F stands for find. So find for the word where you can see error. Okay. By default, you can go and see error here. But the better way is gonna be if you use Control F, it is gonna, you can see it here, right? Basically, I'm using Mozilla. If you are using Google Chrome, you can see it on the top. But here I'm using Mozilla. No? So just type here error and hit enter. Are you seeing the error here? Where is error here? Cloning the repository. Go for next error. Okay. If you hit enter, you can go for the next enters here as usual. Come further down. Are you seeing the error command here? You can see error performing git command. Error performing. Why the error is coming means here if you see in the cannot run the program git. Cannot run the. Why I am not able to run the program git means see, think logically. Currently, where is the build executing? On the slave one. That means for the slave one, I am going to take the code and I'm going to build on slave one. To take the code, which tool we need to install? Git. Have you installed Git on slave one? No. To build it, which tool we need to install? Maven. Have I installed Maven on slave one? That is the reason. If you go and check, it is my slave one. Okay. Just to go for cd/tmp, it is the folder where I'm going to make the build output. Currently have the workspace, but you don't see anything. Why? Because Git is not there. So give the command yum install Git. Why I'm using Git here? To install the, to get the code. Next, I need to install Java 1.8.0 OpenJDK. And I'm going to install Maven. So these three things I'm going to install together. Why? Because without Maven, we cannot able to build it. Okay. And make sure that after installing the Git and Maven version of Java need to be 1.8.0. So here I mentioned this point also. If you click on dashboard, go for the job, go for configuration, select restrict where this job will run. So what we need to give here label of slave one. Build will fail. Why the build will fail? Because the packages are not yet installed. So I'll go here. Now after installing the package, what I'll do, if I click on build now, automatically Git will be there. So now slave one will take the code and perform the build operation. Is it performing or not, sir? Check on console output. If you click on this red symbol, it will go for console output. Okay. What happened here? Build got success. That means your build is successfully running on the slave server. If you go to the top, in the top, you can see where you are running this server. I mean, like a build. If you go to the top, click on fill now. I mean, full log. In the top, it is telling that building remotely. That means it is not building on a Jenkins server. It is building on remotely. Where it is building on slave one node. What is the label? One. And what is the output you are going to get? My output is on TMP workspace CI job. If I go to this path, currently I'm on TMP. Go to the workspace CD. Again, the server issue. CD workspace. And name of the job will be CI job. Are you seeing CI job here? So now in the CI job, your output is going to store. Are you seeing so target and pom.xml? So like this. Now if we go and verify, whenever if you are having multiple builds, Jenkins will do one build, slave will do one build. So is my time is going to save or not, sir? As well as Jenkins is going to get some less load or not, sir? That is the reason why we implement the master and slave concept. Is it clear for all of you? Okay. Online, is the concept of master and slave clear for all of you? Can you please confirm in chat box once? Fine. So guys, the same concept I'm gonna teach you one more time with the help of different slave. Now you'll get the complete idea. So we have seen one slave, right? So second slave, I'm gonna configure. So here we gonna see how the second slave is going to work now. Narayana, like what is your doubt exactly? Can you please elaborate? Okay. So in the meanwhile, I'll go and I'll try to check the slave 2. So let's do everything from the scratch for slave 2. First of all, you have the slave. In the slave, after connecting to it, what is the first thing you're going to do, sir? You are going to install agent. What are you going to install? What is agent here? Java 11. Totally confused. Why? Because we have internet issue as well as we connected multiple times. But this time you'll get clarity, Narayan. Okay, just listen to the class. Even I am also getting some frustration. Why? Because this is every time disconnecting and again I'm connecting. So it's not from our hands, right? Fine. So you connect to the slave server here. What is the first thing you want to do on slave server? So here I have mentioned very clearly, we need to install the Java 11. So it is the command to install Java 11. And after that, I'll be installing Git Maven also parallelly. Why? Because in future, we need to install. Okay. Instead of installing future, I'm going to install now only. So you can go and you can run this command. Why? Because in future, if you don't install Java 1.8 and Maven, your build will fail. That is the reason I'm installing it now currently. Fine. So once you install them, next what you're going to do, sir, here, you are going to configure on the Jenkins console. Now tell me how to configure on Jenkins console. Already we've seen 4 times till now, okay? Manage Jenkins, nodes, new node, node name, slave. Now you have the new option, copy existing node. That means already existing node is having some settings. You can copy the same, but I don't do it. Why? Because you want to practice it. So that is the reason I'm going for manual setup now. Click on create. Number of executors means number of builds. I'm not asking the value. What is the meaning of it? Remote root directory means workspace of your slave server, TMP. Labels, you can give whatever name you want. I'm going to give it as Raham. So next usage. Last option, drop down. Here also again, last option. Host means what we need to give here. Private IP address of your slave number to itself. Credentials, we need to add it. How to add? Click on add. Jenkins in kind, what I need to select? Username with private key. Okay, so here ID I'm using, description I'm using it for slave number 2. What is the username? EC2 user. So coming to the private key, click on enter directly, add, and copy paste this one. So after that one, so click on add. So now in the drop down section, are you seeing slave 2? That's it. Now again, host verifying strategy, drop down again, last non-verifying strategy. Now if you click on save, automatically what will happen? Slave 2 will be activated and you can do the deployment on slave 2 also. But here slave 2 goes offline. It is expected one only. Here now you are going to do troubleshooting. This is one of the major issue what you are going to see in the real time. Can I tell you the output without seeing it? Why it got failed? It is my slave 2, right? What is the Java version we required on slave 2? 11. But what is running here? That is the issue. Okay. So one thing you can understand directly if you configure your slave perfectly, but still it is showing offline. The reason is Java issue. You can go and see, now you can see the logs. In the logs point of view, you can see the same output here. We go and see, go to the top, it is telling that checking the Java version. What is the Java version found? But which version of Java we want? So this is the thing. Okay. So whenever if you are seeing this one, this kind of issue, if Jenkins is having, sorry, if slave is having 1.8.0 rather than 11, so automatically your slave will fail. For that purpose, what we do, we need to change the version from 1.8.0 to 11. How can you change it, sir? Update hyphen alternatives hyphen config Java. Already we seen this or not, sir? This command I shown you on the Jenkins setup. Config Java. Yes, correct, Sirisha. So now here you need to select Java 11. Java 11 means which number I need to give here? 1. So go and give 1 here. That's it. So now automatically Java version will become now 11. So remember, sometimes server will take 1.8.0 instead of 11. So in that case, what we need to do? We need to change the version and click on launch agent. What we need to click on? Now it will check Java is 11 or not. If Java is 11, it will connect. Are you seeing agent successfully got connected and online? So this point I mentioned the troubleshooting notes. If you go to the troubleshooting, wait, let me open the troubleshooting. In the troubleshooting notes, I have mentioned this point very, very clearly. So here, if you go and see, where this one, how to check the errors. I shown you how to check the errors, sir, by using Control F and search error. You can check it. This one scene. Troubleshooting on master and slave. For the master and slave troubleshooting, first of all, you will get the issue with username and password. If you give wrong username and wrong PEM file, you will get the issue. That is authentication issue. Authentication issue means username and password. Second one is agent installation. If there is no Java 11, it is going to fail. I clearly said that one, if Java 11 is not there, so definitely it is going to fail. So this point I mentioned on the troubleshooting note, so you can get it from here. So now here my requirement is Java, this slave 2 comes to the online. Now I want to build it on slave 2. Where I want to build it on? Now how can I build on slave 2? I need to give the label. So go for configure. What is the label of slave 2? Raham. Instead of 1, just put Raham. Raham is the label of slave 2. Now click on this one and click on save. Automatically what happened, this is going to build on my slave 2 server. Which server? If you want me to show, like go for this logs. At the top, you can see it is building remotely. Which server? What is the label? What is the workspace? TMP workspace. If you go and see here, just go to cd/tmp workspace CI job. Now automatically you will be getting the output in this path only. Are you seeing source target in pom.xml here? Inside target, you are having the artifact. What is the artifact here? Netflix var file. Again, it got stuck. Are you seeing the Netflix var file there? So in this way, we are going to build the things on the slave server. Okay. So what is the main purpose is to distribute the build only. Why to distribute? To reduce the load. For that purpose, we create 2 slave servers. Remember, in slave, you don't install Jenkins. You install Java 11. Java 11 is nothing but here agent. What is Java 11? That's it, guys. So this is the concept of master and slave. Now tell me, is the concept of master and slave clear for all of you? Online, can you confirm is the concept of master and slave clear for all of you or not? So for second time it was clear. Great. Fine. So definitely you need to have some practice. Without practice, by listening to the concept, you won't get it. And unfortunately, we have a lot of issue with the Jenkins server here. That is the reason it took so much of time to explain. Okay. So Pallavi, in real time, you don't launch instance every time. Okay. Here for practical purpose to showing you, I'm launching the new server for every time. Okay, fine. So till now, you are telling how to do the continuous integration on freestyle job. But if I wanna build the same job in pipeline, how can I build on slave server? My question is, here you shown us how to build on slaves from freestyle job. I want to build the same job on pipeline. How can I build it? First of all, let's write the pipeline. Continuous integration pipeline, right? I'm gonna take CI pipeline. Tell me the steps, guys. Like, what is the shortcut first of all? Pass. P for let me write here. P for pipeline. Next to agent any stages. Stage number 1 is getting the code inside stage steps. That's it. So here you are getting the code from Git. So right here Git and just copy and paste the URL. After code, what we need to write here next? Next stage build next steps sh mvn compile next stage test steps sh next stage artifact next steps sh mvn click on save. So basically, whenever if you write like this, your continuous integration job build and already we seen this. But here, what is my requirement? I want to build it on where? Slave 1. Let's take. So in agent any means it is gonna build on my master only. but I want to build on worker node. So remove the agent any, open the brace. Just to give here label. What is the slave one label? 1. So automatically if you give like this now, so it is going to make the build on slave number 1 itself. Click on build now. Now you can see that will be running on slave number 1. You can see it here. This is running, right? Let me go to the logs. In the log section, you can see where it is running on. It's running on slave 1. Okay. So similarly, if I want to run it on slave 2, what I'll do? In the configuration part, instead of label 1, I'm gonna put slave 2 label is Raham. That's it. So now you can click on save and you can click on build now. So automatically it is going to work on where, sir? Slave 2. So this is how exactly the things will work in the real time. Okay. Just go ahead and see. It is running on where currently? Slave 2. Both depends upon your requirement. You can use freestyle or you can use pipeline. But majorly I'll prefer pipeline. But because pipeline will give the step-by-step execution process, which in freestyle you cannot see it. So that's it about the class for today. In today's session, basically we need to cover master and slave and post build action. But due to some time waste initially, I'm not gonna cover this topic. Why? Because if I cover, it will be heavy for you today. So I'll stop the session at today. So now, before going for doubts and queries, first of all, how's the class for you today? You got the clarity about master and slave? Online, what about you guys? Have you got the clarity about master and slave now for all of you? Okay, I'll already ask this question, right? Fine, fine. So now here you can go and you can ask your doubts and queries now. So we still have a lot of time to cover. Sir, we'll cover CD pipeline. Definitely, Anil, CD pipeline is gonna cover once we install Tomcat, which I'll go and show on tomorrow's session. So now guys, you can ask your doubts and queries. We still have 20 minutes for session to complete. Please ask your doubts and queries on today's session if you're having anything. If you don't have anything, we can go for one more topic also. But let's see. Huh? Okay, got it. I'll tell you. So, Sirisha, first of all, you can go and speak now.
Hi, sir.
Hello, Sirisha.
Sir, how to at a time two slaves in pipeline, sir?
How to?
How to run two slaves at a time?
Single pipeline on two slaves, huh?
Yes, sir.
Basically, you won't run like that. My question is, why you need to run like that? You are already doing a pipeline execution on slave 1. Why you need to go and execute on slave 2?
How can I run at a time two slaves in pipeline, sir?
That's what I'm telling you, Sirisha. See, my question for you is, of course, you asked the doubt. You have the slave 1. You have the slave 2. You want to build only one job. Okay, you want only one build. You are asking to build on slave 1 and slave 2 at a time. My question is, this
It's
job
not
1
possible.
need to build on slave 1. You will get the output. In slave 2 also, you will get the same output. Here, my question is, what is the reason that you want to build on two different servers at the same time? That's what my question for you. Basically, in real time, we don't build like that. So one build we will run on one slave only. Same build if you run on two different server. So in second server and in first server you can get the same output. Here also you get the var file. Here also you get the var file. So same var file you are getting on two servers. So this one var file is waste or not? So these kind of scenarios won't come in real time, Sirisha. So even we never do it in real time also. Hope this explanation is clear for you.
Yes,
Sirisha, are you there?
yes, sir.
Yep.
Understood,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Fine. Next, Sai Pujita, you can go ahead now.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, good
Uh,
evening, Pujita. Please go ahead.
So I have a doubt in local variables. So I have practiced today that, and that is the code is not getting executed. So I have joined the virtual lab also, but even mentor is also not able to solve that. Actually, the file is not getting opened. Even we checked in the server, we can see the file name called like whatever I have created local variable, but it is not opening. It is showing that like there
Do you
is no
have your
such
server
file.
setup now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you can share your screen. I'm giving the multiple share option. You can go ahead and share the screen, Pujna. I'll tell
Yeah.
what is your doubt.
I like. Can you talk with other person? Just I'm connecting in the laptop to share the screen, so
Sure,
it will
sure.
take a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So guys, remaining people, any queries in the meanwhile? Yeah. Yeah. So some of you asked, sir, instead of giving MEN clean package, like why you are giving this build and test? Okay, I'll tell one reason. If I give MEN clean package, build test artifact will done. But whenever if you get an issue, how can you tell issue is from the build stage and how can you tell issue is from testing stage? Here what I'm telling is code, build, test, artifact. It is the approach what I'm following. But what is the approach you are expecting? Code, artifact. I'll go in this one. But whenever if build got failed due to some reason, how will you know is build failed on compiling stage, testing stage, or artifact stage? How can you know? If you directly give artifact, you will get error, but you can't figure is it from build stage or test stage. That is the reason I'm giving individually. You got the logic now? Yes. Next question is from Pallavi. Pallavi, you can go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello Pallavi.
Sir, my question is not about today's class. When I'm trying to connect EC2 instance on server, sir, that time one error was occur. SSH connection establishing error. But when I change my laptop timing, then it will work successfully, sir. My question is,
Connect with the
what is
browser.
a connection
Yeah.
connection between laptop timing and this error,
It's
sir?
not like that. It's not like try to connect from Mobexterm. I already shown you how to connect from Mobexterm, right? So use Mobexterm. Okay, it is gonna connect from the terminal where you can have a lot of flexibility to practice.
Okay.
Hope it is clear for you.
No, sir, but my question is, what is the connection between timing and error,
We
sir?
don't have any connection. Like that's what I'm wondering. We don't have any connection between them. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Please show me how to connect to new user. First of all, you need to create the user if you want to connect. Command is user add command and you can connect with it. Okay, so these things you can see on the Linux point of view, but okay, I'll tell you. Can you unmute me? I'm able to raise and okay, Pujita, wait. In the meanwhile, Shamshuddin, you can speak now.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Shamshuddin.
Sir, do we have any alternatives for this master and agent architecture?
No, we don't have anything.
Okay.
Okay. So Pujita, you can speak now.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. So when I'm
You can
running,
share your screen now. Yeah, please go ahead.
screen, yeah.
So what's your doubt? Just open the error. Just click on the error. Yep. It is telling that execute shell marked as build failure. My variable command not found. Okay. So what I said initially for all of you is user defined variable will be on caps or small letters, sir. Small
Actually,
letter.
this is
Okay.
the
First thing.
thing
Yeah.
I got from the mentor, but
And
I
the let me tell you, basically here you need to give the value double quotes, but see how the double quotes and is equal to is aligned.
Okay.
That is the issue. Just go and open your execute shell. Go for configure. Now what you can do is just remove that space of myWhere. Remove that space. Have you seen the color got changed?
Yeah.
Now go and fix it. Just just remove that space. Now go and save.
Okay.
Click on build now. That's it. I hope it is clarified now, Pushta.
Yeah. Okay. Here there is a gap,
Yeah. If you
space
give a
into
gap, it is
the
gonna call,
yes.
it is gonna assume that is going to be like one of the character. Okay. So you cannot give gap for the variables. If you give, it is gonna assume like a character.
Okay. But even in the server also, we are unable to open the file. What is the reason behind that?
No. Basically, here you are just printing a command, right? So printing a
Yeah.
command doesn't create any kind of file. Okay. If you create touch file, then only you can able to see the file.
Okay.
See here, what you are doing, running the echo command. Echo command is to print. It won't create any file. Na?
Okay. Okay.
Is it clear now?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Great. Fine. So still any other queries? And one more thing is basically in future, if you want to modify or if you want to monitor the slave nodes, let me tell you one thing. In slave one, how many builds I can do? 2. I want to change it, sir. So go for configuration. So instead of 2, put 3, for example. And where is the output going to store? TMP. No, sir, I want my custom page. Just go /bin. Okay. Just you can change your inputs here and click on save. Automatically, if you go and see, is the output changing or not, sir? Like that. And you can see the statistics. What is the meaning of stat means? How many builds done here? Okay, if you go and see, or is in the graphical statistics here, how the slave is working at from what time to what time it is activate, at from what time to what time it used. You can see it here. The better approach of showing this one is go for monitor data. If you see, so currently how much of data is free now? 5.7, right? So if I go and show you the build history, it will show me. So in the slave one, I build continuous integration job. Build number 3 I built, but it got failed. But in the same job, build number 4 got success. At what time it happened? 26 minutes ago. Similarly, if you go to slave 2 also, in the slave 2, you can see the same thing. Go here, click on build history. And you can see in the slave 2, I build continuous integration job with build number 5. So like this, you can see the number of builds done to this slave also. And you can see the system information. That means it is going to show the complete information of the Jenkins slave. If you click on this symbol, you can see the values here. Are you seeing the values here? Like that. So, sir, for example, currently I'm having 2 slaves. I want to make 1 slave off. I don't want to build on slave 2. Click on disconnect. The moment if you click on disconnect, you can write here, this slave is under maintenance now. Or like under patch updates. Sometimes for servers, we need to update the patches. Whenever if you're updating the patches, we need to stop the server. So when in future, if somebody is trying to build on slave number 2, it's going to be on stop status. They will go and check here. What happened to the slave 2? Once they click on this slave 2, they can be able to see disconnected by which user? Which user got which user disconnected this one? RAM user. Why? Because this slave is under. So then user come to know, okay, so currently this is under patching. So RAM user got disconnected. Once patching is done, if you want to make this available now, click on launch agent. Now again, the agent is going to up and running. That's it. Okay, these are the some of the things you need to keep mind on the like Jenkins master and slave. Again, from the troubleshooting point of view, if Java version is wrong, you will get failed. And if username password is also going to wrong, it is going to get failed. Let me show you. I'll go and give username and password wrong. What kind of issue you will get? This all will be the troubleshooting techniques for it's not the concept I'm teaching. I'm teaching you troubleshooting. Go for configure. Intentionally, I'm going to change username wrong. What is the default username? Easy to user. So click on add credentials. Go for Jenkins. SH username with private key. Username I'll give correctly only. Easy to hyphen user. But coming to the password, what I'm doing, I'm copying everything here. So while pasting now, what will happen, while pasting this one, I missed one character. Intentionally, I'm gonna miss one character. Oh wait, it's not this one. Sometimes you will give the wrong keeper also, guys. Don't give the wrong keeper. Check the keeper name before you are giving. What I'm doing here, I'm gonna remove this is equal to. Intentional I'm doing. Click on add. Now if I select this one, click on save, automatically you'll get authentication failed. What you'll get? Go for notes. I'm gonna okay. Click on save. I'm gonna disconnect this one and I'm gonna connect it one more time. Okay. Launch agent. Wait, guys, it's not taking. Wait, let me do one thing. Let me keep refresh. It's not taking the new credentials here. Is it well, let me show you another way. Wait. SH username. Username I'm giving correct username only. EC2 user. Private key. I'm giving it here. Okay. Click on add. Credentials got added here. Use these credentials. Okay. Click on save. I'm stopping this one and I am like bringing this one. Basically, you need to remove this permanently. Let me show one thing. Let me remove this permanently and let me show you. Delete agent. I'll show you the troubleshooting for it. See, click on node. Node name I'm gonna give it as slave number 2. So click on permanent agent. Just I'm gonna show you like what happen if you give wrong username and wrong password. Username is /tmp. Labels just give 2 this time. Drop down. Drop down. Host means what we need to give here. Slave to private IP address. Credentials. Click on add Jenkins. SH username with private key. What is the username here? EC2-user. But what I am giving? EC2 user. In the description, I'm gonna give it for slave 2. So for the private key, just give the private key here. But here private key, I'm gonna miss something here. Intentionally, I'm gonna miss something. You know, it is clearly wrong. Correct or not, sir? This one. It's wrong, I know. Verifying strategy, non-verifying strategy. Put it and click on slave now. Now you'll get authentication failed. See, slave to become offline. But what is the reason? If you go and click on see the logs, you can see error. What is the error here? You can see SSH host keys are not being verified. Error is from the authentication failed. Here in the troubleshooting notes, I clearly mentioned that. What is the point I mentioned here? Here, if you got authentication failed, then what is the reason? Username and password. This we seen lively. As well as second one also we seen lively. Okay. If slave goes offline, what is the reason? Java version. And if slave is not working, check the Java version. So these are the maximum troubleshooting techniques from the Jenkins, master and slave. Guys, concept everybody will learn. But here the main thing is apart from concept, you need to learn the troubleshooting. If you learn troubleshooting, then the things will become very, very easy for your real-time work. Okay. And here my major intention is to not to teach the concept. Instead of teaching the concept, I want you to teach the troubleshooting completely. Why? Because if you have troubleshooting knowledge, you can go and you can work on anywhere. So that's it for today's session, guys. So I'm gonna remove the slave to permanently. So now if you are having still any doubts or any queries, you can ask. Sir, while practicing the input parameters, I wrote a message, is it input correct? Instead of OK, I give capital OK. It's giving error. But while looking up the logs, your notes as well as small letter. So that is a default syntax. You still have time sometime, man. Okay. I'm gonna give these notes for you. Fine. Basically, we need to cover one more concept today, but unfortunately, due to the initial delay of Jenkins server, so I'm just holding the concept for today. And in tomorrow's session, we're gonna see the concept. Sorry. Troubleshooting notes I'll give at the end of the course. Why? Because we still need to learn a lot of troubleshooting. So it's not only for today, right? By the end of the course, I'll give both troubleshooting and interview questions for you. Wait, I'm uploading the notes for you in the Google Classroom. I said this just now. So Pujta, if you use like that, you cannot able to verify from the which stage you got the build file. That is the reason I'm using like individually. Okay. If you use clean package, you cannot able to figure it out from where you got the issue. Is it from build stage or is it from test stage or is it from artifact stage? That is the reason I'm mentioning individually. Yep. Okay, guys. So that's it for today's session. So let's meet on tomorrow's session with some new concept. Have a great day. Bye all. Thank you. Thank you, online. Have a great day.